There we go. All right.
All right.
I guess we'll start the intro. I'm Tristan.
I'm Mohammed.
This is a difference of squares. Today we'll be continuing, possibly finishing the Eye of Argon. We'll see. We might not have enough time, but we'll do our best. But I guess first, we'll like date when this was filmed. This is filmed the day after the Oscars, and I mean everyone knows what happened. I'm sure by now.
Who knows what happened? Nobody knows what happened. You have to explain to them.
All right. Well,
so it was a shocking event, actually. I thought it was a little bit of a stunt. Chris Rock was hosting the Oscars.
No, he wasn't. He was just presenting an Oscar.
Oh, see, I don't even know.
He got on stage and started doing Chris Rock. So he pretty much started acting like he was hosting because he was roasting the people in the room, which is what the hosts normally do. But Chris Rock is a comedian. That's what he does. Okay. He has hosted the Oscars once before.
Okay.
About that. And he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, the wife of Will Smith, about her, I guess her hair is shaved down.
Okay.
So he kind of made a light, I guess it was kind of a mean joke, but not super mean, about her, how she was like G.I. Jane or something. It's like, can't wait to see you in the next G.I. Jane movie or something like that.
I think it was, yeah, exactly.
Apparently Jada Pinkett does have a condition which means she has to keep her hair shorter or something. I'm not really sure what it is.
Yeah.
But I guess if you know that, it could be construed as insensitive to make fun of her for having short hair.
But I mean, are we at that point now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, it was, I don't think it was that bad a joke at all. But Will Smith got really mad and walked up to Chris Rock on stage and slapped him.
It looked ridiculous. And like he walked away almost smiling. So I thought it was a joke.
No.
But then, then you hear the shouts coming.
Well, they actually don't, because as soon as the slap happens, and then in the live broadcast, they cut the audio like immediately for like a good 10 seconds.
Really?
You don't hear anything. It is on a time delay. Like there is like they do have it on a time, but it's not totally live. It's like there's a 5-second delay in case anyone swears, they can bleep it. And they just decide, we're just going to bleep this whole conversation that happens.
Wow.
Apparently, Will Smith says, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, I believe is what he said.
That's what he said repeatedly, like
2
or 3 times. But then at some point, it sounded like somebody gave him a mic. Or was he just like yelling that hard?
I think he was just yelling. Actually, the stage is really close to where like the VIPs are sitting.
Wow.
Which is obviously where Will Smith is. Chris Rock didn't really know what to do, and so he just kind of like, all right, I guess we'll just breeze past that, just give out this award now.
Wow.
But then it gets even better because second of all, like immediately after Chris Rock does his thing, gives out the award, P. Diddy comes out and acts as like the voice of reason, like tries to calm everyone down because he's giving out the next award.
I need to see that part. I missed the whole thing.
It's tame. It's just him saying like, hey, fam, we need to calm down here. This is an award show. It's just him.
So he lost his. Do you think he was drinking? He must have been.
I don't know. I don't know if there's alcohol. They were sitting at tables, but I don't know if alcohol is being served. Normally, there's not alcohol at the Oscars. It's more upscale than like other award shows. And then, but here's the real icing on the cake. At towards the end of the broadcast, Will Smith is there because he's nominated for King Richard, a movie that he's in, and he wins.
Crazy part. Didn't he win?
He wins Best Actor that very same night after slapping Chris Rock.
What the fuck is going on? Like, I don't even understand.
And then so he gives a speech where he refers a little bit back to what happened. He said it was art or life imitating art, because I guess in King Richard he plays kind of a temperamental character.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But also I don't get what it's like to be under that much pressure and that much scrutiny and attention and media focus. It must be insane.
Yeah, and he's also had
Whatever
a
you do.
bit of a year. His wife, there's been some like awkward interviews with him and his wife, where his wife is like talking about numerous affairs that she's had. They have an open marriage apparently, but it looks like it mostly seems to favor Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know.
Wow,
Um, but yeah.
that's shocking. How do you transition from that to the Eye of Argon now?
Well, equally as awkward and poorly written as the Oscars is the Eye of Argon, which we will attempt to finish. I don't know how much time you have, but we will
Let's go. Let's do another like.
to plow through it.
Yeah.
At this point, Grignr is escaping the dungeons with Carthena. I believe they killed all like the bad people chasing them have been killed at this point. I think all the bad guys are dead. Just them leaving this dungeon.
Trying to find where I was.
I think I finished at
Who knows?
I think he's opening a
after
door.
7.5
He opened a door. He opened a big heavy door. The slab gradually swung inward with a slight grating sound. Carthena stooped beneath Grignr's corded arms and crawled upon all fours into the passage.
Corded arms, yes.
They're always corded. I think because he's like trying to refer to like the like the bulging vein.
Muscular,
He's so
yeah.
muscular kind of
Corded.
deal. I think that's what he means by corded. Grignr followed after, easing the slab back into place. And that's where we ended.
Okay, let's go.
Winding before the pair was a dark, musty tunnel, exhibiting tangled spider webs from its ceiling to wall and an oozing, sickly slime running lazily upon its floor. That's pretty gross and to be crawling through that.
I'm looking up corded arms just to see, get him. There you go.
Okay. Hanging from the chipped wall upon Grignr's right side, I'll point out the second R in Grignr is capitalized, was a half-moldered corpse. Its gray flacking arms held in place by rusted iron manacles, so former prisoner. I don't know what flacking arms is. Carthena flinched back into Grignr's arms at sight of the leering set in an ugly, distorted grimace.
I'm having like trouble clicking into the vibe of this story again.
Yeah,
No, it's-
staring horribly at her from hollow, gaping sockets. I don't know. I think it. I don't know what that's. I think she's describing like the skull scared her. I think that's what she means by the grimace
again.
and the
Where you
leering
going?
set. Very weird description with wrong words or words missing. Hard to tell. And now we get dialogue. Now we actually get a lot of dialogue. Like I think more dialogue than we've seen in a while.
Okay, let's go.
This is Grignr talking. This alcove must also be used by Agathum as a torture chamber. I wonder how many of his enemies have disappeared to these haunts, never to be heard from again, pondered the hulking brute. Oh, he's thinking it. He's not saying it. Okay. Let us flee before we are caught within Agathum's ghastly clutches. The exit from this tunnel cannot be very far from here, said Carthena, with a slight sob to her voice. Oh, sorry, I guess I should have been sobbing, as she sagged in Grignr's encompassing embrace. I'm not sure if they're, I guess they're standing now. Like before they said they were crawling into here. But
They're going through a corridor of some kind, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, but earlier it says that she crawled upon all fours into the passage beyond. But now it seems like they're standing upright. It will be best to be finished with this corridor as soon as it is possible. But why do you flinch from the sight of death so? Rivet! You have seen much death this day without exhibiting such emotions, exclaimed Grignr as he led her trembling form along the dingy confines. The man hanging from the wall was Doyanta. Great, a new named character who we don't care about, who's dead already. He had committed the folly of showing affection for me in front of Agathum. He never meant any harm by his actions. At this, Carthena broke into a slow, steady whimpering, chalking her voice with gasping sobs. There was never anything between us, yet Agathum did this to him. Like, how does she know that the skeleton? I guess this is like a corpse that's recognizable and not just a skeleton. I guess.
Oh, that's what's happening. Okay.
The beast, may the demons of hell's deepest haunts claw away at his wretched flesh for this merciless act, she prayed. I detect that you felt more for this fellow than you wished to let on, but enough of this. We could talk of such matters after we are once more free to do so. With this, Grignr lifted the grieved female to her feet. Oh, so she was on the ground or something. I don't know. And I guess she fell to the ground and strode onward down the corridor, supporting the bulk of her weight with his surging left arm. Strong arms. This guy's got big, strong, manly arms.
Corded arms, dude.
Presently, a dim light was perceptibly flittering into the tunnel, casting a dim reddish hue upon the moldy wall of the passage's grim confines. Carthena had ceased her whimpering and partially regained her composure. The tunnel's end must be nearing. Rays of sunlight are beginning to seep into. And then she's cut off. Grignr claimed his right hand over Carthena's mouth, and with a slight struggle pulled her over to the shadows at the right hand of the wall.
What is he trying to say? Is that an actual? It's not an actual word, right?
Clammied? I think he was trying to say clamped, like clamped his right hand over.
Yeah.
He's misspelled it. And with a slight struggle pulled her over to the shadows at the right hand wall of the passage, while at the same time thrusting his torch beneath an overhanging stone to smother its flickering rays. Be silent. I can hear footfalls approaching through the tunnel, growled Grignr in a hushed tone. All that you hear are the horses corralled at the far end of the tunnel. That is a further sign that we are nearing our goal, she stated, exclamation mark. All that you hear is less than what I hear. I heard footsteps coming towards us. Silence yourself that we may find out whom we are being brought into contact with. I doubt that any would have thought as yet of searching this passage for us. The advantage of surprise will be upon our side, Grignr warned. Carthena cast her eyes downward and ceased any further pursuit towards conversation. An irritating habit in which she had gained an amazing proficiency. What? Okay.
Dude, I think this is way funnier because we did it in multiple podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I forget about it in my daily life and I come back to it and I read the reading and I'm like, it's a style to its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Two figures came to the pair's view from around a turn in the tunnel. They were clothed in rich, luxuriant silks and rambling on in conversation while ignorant of their crouching foes waiting in an ambush ahead. That barbarian dog is cringing beneath the weight of the lash at this moment. Sire, he shall cause no more disturbance. Aye, and so it is with any who dare to cross the path of Sargon's chosen one, said the second man. But the peasants are showing signs of growing unrest. They complain that they cannot feed their families while burdened with your taxes. Oh, I guess this must be. I thought Agathon, the guy they killed, was the Sultan, but I guess it was. I guess Agathon is just some guy, maybe I guess it's the priest or something.
Wait, no, I thought Agathon was the one that yeah, that's how it was the big bad guy all the way through the story.
No, apparently not. I think Agathon wasn't named until they were about to kill him. I just assumed it was the Sultan because it just kind of seemed like, based on this context, that Carthena belonged to him, that he was the Sultan.
Something like that. So
now it seems that Agathon was a priest or something and not actually the Sultan, because it says your taxes, which implies that this guy coming down one of them is the Sultan.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out.
But they can't teach their families, though.
They complain, so the peasants complain they cannot feed their families, not feed their families while burdened with your taxes. I shall teach those sluts. Oh, yeah, I think this is my voice for him. I shall teach those sluts the meaning of humility. Order an immediate increase upon their taxes. They dare to question my sovereign authority? Ha ha! They shall soon learn what true oppression can be. I will. And then he's cut off. A shadowed bulk left from behind a jutting promontory as it brought down a double-edged axe with the so it's supposed to say speed, but it's with 2 P's instead of 2 E's. With the sped of a striking thought, one of the nobles sagged lifeless to the ground, skull split to the teeth. Grignr gasped as he observed the bisected face set in its leering death agonies. Oh my God. It was Agafund, the advisor to the Sultan who we killed earlier.
Yeah.
So Agafund dies twice. Amazing. He came back to life just to immediately die again.
No, I have to go back now. Really?
Agafund, 100% Agafund is the guy who died in like
just now.
chapter 2, or I think. Let me see. I'll go back. Let's find Agafund's first death.
How do you spell Agafund?
Agafnd.
Agafmd. FND.
Yeah, the counselor slumped to his knees as Grignr slid his crimson blade from Agafund's ribcage. The fat the prince showed fear. It's pretty obvious that he murdered Agafund by stabbing him through the ribs. Like, I don't think Agafund survived that.
Okay, 1 second. I just went back and
Agafund let Grignr and his sire, but found a sword permeating the length of his ribs before he could loose his weapon. So Agafund tries to save the prince's life and dies in his place because he gets stabbed through the ribs by Grignr.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And
Okay.
now here he's fine until he's very suddenly has his face cut in two.
Okay. The dead man was having recovered. Okay, no, you have to continue.
I also like how there's a character called Agafund and a character called Agafim. Like,
that's what I was wondering about. So they're not the same?
They're not the same character. Agafim is spelled Agapphim. And it's just a character who has a priest who's not in any earlier part of the book. He's just there to be a priest harassing Carthena. It makes no sense.
Slave of Prince Agafim. He's a prince.
Wait, he's Prince. Oh, Agafim is maybe the son of the Sultan then?
What the fuck?
Okay, I guess we're connecting dots here. The son of the Sultan also apparently like a priest or some shit. I don't know. Apparently he's
maybe Agafim and Agafend are the same.
I don't think I think they're different people. Because Agafind is an advisor.
And
Jesus Christ, it's so confusing. So needlessly confusing.
But did he actually go with 2 characters, one named Agafem and Agafind?
Yeah, they're different characters, man. They died differently.
Interesting. Okay, well. Back to it.
Yeah, I was at one time a slave of Prince Agafim. Yeah, I'm guessing the guy who they killed, who was also a priest, conducting some weird ritual.
Carthena, was it Carthena, the woman?
Carthena is the woman, yeah.
Daughter of Ming Cardos.
Oh, but then he says here, by Agafim's orders, I was thrust into a secluded cell to await his passing of sentence. So it also implies that Agafim, yeah, there's just, it's so inconsistent. I have no idea who Agafim is or what his relationship is to anyone else.
I think maybe it's all the same, no?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he killed, yeah, maybe, I don't know, I guess we'll find out. Let's just keep reading. Who cares, honestly?
Yeah.
The dead man's comrade, having recovered from his shock, drew a jewel-encrusted dagger from beneath the folds of his robe and lunged toward the barbarian's back. Grignr spun the sun from behind and smashed down his crimsoned axe once more. His antagonist lunged howling to a stream of stagnant green water. Oh, there's green water around now. Grasping a spouting stump that had once been a wrist. Grignr raised his axe over his head and prepared to spell P-A-I-R-E-D to finish the incomplete job, but was deterred halfway through his lunge by a frenzied screech from behind. Carthena leapt to the head of the writhing figure, plunging a smoldering torch into the agonized face. The howls increased in their horrid intensity, stifled by the sizzling of roasting flesh, then died down till the man was reduced to a blubbery mass of squirming, insensate flesh. Okay. Flesh used twice.
Strong imagery there.
Yeah. Grignr advanced to Carthena's side, wincing slightly from the putrid aroma of charred flesh that rose in a puff of thick white smoke throughout the chamber. Carthena reeled slightly, staring dazedly downward at her gruesome handiwork. I had to do it. It was Agathim. Oh, so this is Agathim. Did Agathim not die? Am I confusing characters?
Agathim and Agathim are the same.
No, this is Agathim, the P-H-I-M. This is different. Who is the priest? Like, is the priest just a guy? Oh, I guess the priest is just a guy. I guess in our head we connected the priest with Agathim. I guess that was.
I don't understand this anymore.
I think that was our mistake. I don't think Agathim ever died.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess that guy who died was just a priest. He wasn't Agathim. That was my bad. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you something after.
Yeah, so Agathim just died now. Sorry. So that was a priest was different than Agathim.
Okay.
I had confused it.
Sargon.
I'll probably go back and read and find out maybe why I confused. Like maybe she implied that Agathim was one of the people torturing her down there. I don't know. Sargon should be more careful of his right-hand men, added Grignr, a smug grin upon his lips. But to hell with Sargon for now. The stench is becoming bothersome to me. With that, Grignr grasped Carthena around the waist, leading her around the bend in the cave and into the open. Wait, isn't Sargon the play? I don't even know. I have no idea who or what anything is anymore in this story. Who is? Yeah, I'll figure out who Sargon is later. But anyway, yeah. So they go out into the open, and now we are on. We're very close to done now. A ball of feral red was rising to the mists of the eastern horizon, dissipating the slinking shadows of the night. So it's the sun. The sun is rising. A coral stood before the pair, enclosing two grazing or corral. Sorry, it's supposed to be a corral, but he spelled it coral.
Sargon is a bastard deity.
Enclosing two grazing mares. Grignr reached into a weighted down leather pouch dangling at his side and drew forth the scintillant red emerald he had obtained from the bloated idol. Raising it toward the sun, he said, "We shall do well with bauble, eh?" Carthena gaped at the gem, gasping in a terrified manner. "The Eye of Argon, oh Kala!" At this, the gem gave off a blinding glow that dribbled through Grignr's fingers in a slimy red ooze. Grignr stepped back, pushing Carthena behind him. The droplets of slime slowly converged into a pulsating jelly-like mass. A single opening transfixed the blob, forming into a leech-like maw. Then the hideous transgressor of nature flowed towards Grignr, a trail of greenish slime. Oh, now it's a green slime instead of red, whatever. Lingering behind it. The single gap puckered, repeatedly emitting a ghastly sucking sound. Grignr spread his legs into a battle stance, steeling his quivering thews for a battle royale with a thing he knew not how to fight. I guess a battle royal. He didn't put the E at the end. So a battle royal with a thing he knew not how to fight. Carthena wound her arms around her protector's neck, mumbling, "Kill it, kill!" while her entire body trembled. The thing was almost upon Grignr. Oh, I see. Okay. When he buried his axe into the gristly maw, it passed through the blob and clanged upon the ground. Grignr drew his axe back with a film of yellow-green slime clinging to the blade. The thing was seemingly unaffected. Then it started to sluice up his leg. Oh, he invented a word there, sluice. I actually don't mind that invented the word sluice. It actually has like a.
I feel like sluice goes with like
I can
sleeve.
envision what it means to sluice, for who's to sluice around the leg. The hairs upon his nape stood on end. Well, he put an E at the end of stood. Stood, I don't know.
Okay.
On end from the slimy feel of the thing's bulky, or of the thing's bully bulk.
Where I lost it. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay.
The nachos, I don't know what that means or if that's a word.
The nachos.
The nachos sucking sound became louder, and Grignr felt the blood being drawn from his body. I'll point out that nachos is spelled capital N-A-U-T-O-U-S. With each hiss of hideous pucker, the thing increased in size. Grignr shook his foot about madly in an attempt to dislodge the blob, but it clung like a leech, still feeding upon his rapidly draining life fluid. Oh, it's sucking his blood now.
Oh shit.
Grasped with his hands, trying to rip it off, but only found his hands entangled in a sickly glue-like substance. The slimy thing continued its puckering, now having grown the size of Grignr's leg from its vampiric feast. Grignr began to reel and stagger under the blob, his chalk-white face and faltering muscles attesting to the gigantic loss of blood. Garthena slipped from Grignr in a death-like faint, a morrow-chilling scream upon a red rubbish lip. I want to say it's rubbish lips. Her lips are rubbish. In final desperation, Grignr grasped the smoldering torch upon the ground and plunged it into the reeking maw of the travesty. A shudder passed through the thing. Grignr felt the blackness closing upon his eyes, but held on with the last ebb of his rapidly waning vitality. He could feel its grip lessening as a hideous gurgling sound erupted from the writhing maw. The jelly-like mass began to bubble like a vat of boiling tar as quivers passed up and down its entire form. Seems like it's weak to fire.
Okay.
With a sloshing plop, the thing fell to the ground, evaporating in a thick.
So why do they call it the last ending? We should make a note on that, no?
Oh yeah. Well, I deleted that, but yeah, I guess we'll note that for a long time, the only copy of the story that existed did not include these final paragraphs, so it just kind of ended on a cliffhanger with Grignr about to die.
Yeah.
But then later on, someone found another copy of the fanzine that was complete and had the ending.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay.
With
a sloshing plot.
It fell to the ground, evaporated into a thick scarlet cloud until it reattained its original size. It remained thus for a moment as the puckered maw took the shape of a protruding red eyeball, the pupil of which seemed to unravel before it the tale of creation, how a shapeless mass slithered from the quagmires of the stigmatic pools of time, only to degenerate into a leprosy of avaricious lust. In that fleeting moment, the grim mystery of life was revealed before Grignr's ensnared gaze. What the? So he attains enlightenment by attacking this blob monster.
I mean, I can see that.
Represents avaricious lust or something, and also like the creation. The eyeballs. The
eyeballs.
Oh, now it has multiple eyeballs. The eyeballs glare turned into. Oh, the eye. See, it's a possessive eyeball. The eyeballs glare turned to a sudden plea of mercy, a plea for the whole of humanity. What? Then the blob began to quiver with violent convulsions. The eyeball shattered into 1,000 tiny fragments and evaporated it into a curling wisp of scarlet mist. The very ground below the thing began to vibrate and swallow it up with a belch. Jesus.
Yeah.
The thing was gone forever. All that remained was a dark red blotch upon the face of the earth, blotching things up. Dark red blotch blotching things up. Jesus Christ. Shaking his head, his shaggy mane To clear the jumbled fragments of his mind, Grignr tossed the limp female over his shoulder. Now he's just carting her off. Great.
Okay.
Mounting one of the disgruntled mares and leading the other, the weary, scarred barbarian trooted slowly off into the horizon to become a tiny pinpoint in a filtered file of swirling blue mists, leaving the noble soldiers and peasants to replace the missing monarch. Long live the king! Long live the king! 4 exclamation marks! Who the fuck is the king?
Fuck.
By Jim Teese, and now to cap it all up, the last word. Winner of the J.T. Rikosh Award for Excellence! Exclamation mark. Can you believe it? This story won the J.T. Rikosh Award for Excellence?
But what is JT? Okay, first of all, I need to find out what that is.
It's nothing. It's a meaningless award.
Oh, okay, so it's not a real thing, right?
No, I will note though that if you're looking at the version of this online, and like there is paired with some artwork. Here, I can actually hold. I have it here. Up, I can hold it up.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen this. Yeah.
And if you look at it, one of the artworks does say, this one here says J.T. Rikosh. So I'm assuming he's the artist who drew these pictures. So I'm assuming it's either the person who published the fanzine, or is a friend of the person who publishes it. Like clearly he's just some guy.
Well, I think first things first, we give this guy credit for getting it done. You know, he
got it done.
Yes.
You got it done. Long live the king.
Long live the king.
Long live the king.
Yeah.
All
right. We got it done too. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah. Oh, so she does say that Agatham threw her in prison. Oh yeah, so Agatham is not one of the priests. Agatham is the Sultan who just actually would be against what the priests are doing because they're worshiping a false god or whatever.
So they're not the same. Agatham and Agathand.
Oh, I've seen that they were delivered from his records. Okay, yeah, he killed them. Okay. Yeah, okay. So Agatham does not die twice, although they don't mention him by name until very near the end. Oh, Sargon is their actual god. Okay, so Argon is the false god. Sargon is the real god. Okay. Yeah, I guess. All right. So there we go. It concludes the story. Then we finally figured out what things were. I forgot what Sargon. Anyway. We mixed up who had died and stuff.
Not bad. How many episodes? Like 4 or 5?
I think it's 5.
Okay. We'll do it. We'll do something different next time.
Yeah. So I'll end the recording there. Unless you have any final thoughts on the story that you would like to say.
Nah, I'm pretty removed from
I think it speaks for itself. I agree. It speaks for itself.
Yeah,
so I hope you all enjoyed this reading of the Eye of Argon and you now understand it much better. Or not at all. Doesn't matter.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
So,
talk to you soon.